Hello, my dear children of ninth standard. In this video, we are going to start a poem from your Beehive textbook. The name of the poem is poem number 6, No Man Are Foreign. Now, from the title, Foreign, what does it mean? So, foreign means belonging to or connected with a country that is not your own. So, the poet James Kirkup starts writing the poem by saying that no men are strange, no countries foreign. So, the poet wants to tell the fact that all men are same means all human beings are same no matter what country they belong to. The uniforms worn by soldiers of different countries or the dress worn by people of different countries are different, but they all are human beings. All breathe the same way. They eat, live, die, same way. Everyone gets the beauty of nature. So, the poet wants to promote universal brotherhood. The people living on the earth are equal. So, now I'll introduce you from the poet James Kirkup. So, I'll give you short introduction about the poet. So, James Kirkup was an English poet, translator, and travel writer. He took birth on 23rd April 1918. He wrote over 30 books, including autobiographies, novels, and plays. He died on 10th May 2009. So, now, my dear children, let us begin the poem No Man Are Foreign. I'll read the stanza and stanza wise I'll explain you. So, the first stanza says, Remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes like ours. The land our brothers walk upon is earth like this, in which we all shall lie. So, and the very first stanza, the poet here says that no man are strange, no country is foreign. It means he wants to remove the borders from the earth that separate different countries. He wants us to say that we all are equal, same. He wants to promote the universal brotherhood, that the entire people on this earth is one family. The poet is saying that beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. It means under the dresses that people of different countries wear. Under these dresses, human body is the same. Also, the soldiers of different countries wear different dresses, means their dress code is different, but inside that, the human body is the same. Further, he says that all of us breathe and live in the same way. We all walk upon the same earth. And when we will die, we will be buried under the same earth. Now, in stanza 2, the poet says that they too aware of sun, air, and water are fed by peaceful harvests. By wars long winters starved, their hands are ours, and in their lines we read a labor not different from our own. So, in this stanza, they refers to those people who belongs to other countries. Poet says that all share the air, water, and warmth of sun equally to survive. Each one of us prospers at the time of peace and suffers when there is war. God has not differentiated between people. For Him, everyone who is living on the earth is equal. Like we all live happy and peaceful life at the time when there is no war. During peacetime, all the countries flourish. Happily, we do agriculture, harvesting at the time of peace. Further, he says that each one of us, even the foreigners who belongs to other countries, starve at the time of wars and winter. During wartime, all the countries suffers from shortage of food and other difficulties. Further, in this stanza, poet says that their hands are just like ours. They also do labor. Labor means hard work for their needs, just like we do. It is we, human beings, who are doing discrimination. So, we should not treat other countries as foreigners. We all are equal. In stanza 3, poet says that remember they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life. They all can recognize and understand. So, in stanza 3, poet says that remember now he is telling us to remember that human beings all over the world have similar eyes. They also wake and sleep as we do. They are strong and powerful like us. They can be won by love. We all should recognize and understand that they are like us, and each one of us should keep this bond. Then there will be no wars, no fights between the countries. Further, in stanza 4, poet says that let us remember whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispose, betray, condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other. Now, in this stanza, poet says to let us remember that whenever we are told to hate others, or when we hate others, whenever we hate a person from another country, we actually rob. Deceive means cheat, and condemn means find guilty our own selves. So, he says that whenever we pick arms means gun, weapon against someone, we should remember one thing. And what we should remember, that we'll see in stanza 5. So here in stanza 5, poet says that it is the human earth that we defile, our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. Remember, no man are foreign and no countries strange. Now, here defile means to make dirty. So, in this stanza, poet says that one should remember that whenever we put weapon against someone or when we fight against others, we spoil the purity of our own earth. We make our mother earth dirty. The war pollutes the earth and impures the air. As in war, there is fire, death, bloodshed. The dead bodies make the earth impure. The fire and smoke from the weapons of war poison that very air which is everywhere and which we all breathe. Lastly, the poet writes the first line in reverse saying, remember, no man are foreign and no country is strange. So, my dear children, poet is giving a very important message through this poem, that is universal brotherhood, that we all are same. Now here we'll see the poetic devices which has been used in this poem. So let us begin. Now very first the rhyme scheme. Now if you will read the poem and if you will see the last word of each stanza, then you will find that no words are rhyming with each other. It means no musical effect is coming. Okay, so we can say that the poem is written in free verse. See the last word of each line of each stanzas. So see in the first stanza, the last line, first stanza, first line, the last word is foreign. Second line, last word is breathes. Third line, last word is upon. And fourth line, last word is lie. So different musical effects are coming. So we can say that the poem is written in free verse. Now let us see the figures of speech which has been used in this poem. So the very first figure of speech in this poem is alliteration. Now what is the meaning? So alliteration means a repetition of consonant sound. Remember, a repetition of consonant sound or words at the beginning of two or more words that are close to one another. Now if you will see stanza 1, line 2, beneath all uniforms a single body breathes. Now see here, b sound is coming, and where? From the start. Beneath body breathes. So we can say that this is the example of alliteration, because b sound, which is consonant, is coming, and where? From the start. B sound is coming from the start of the words. So again see in stanza 2, line 2, are fed by peaceful harvest, by war's long winter starved. So here if you will see this sentence, see this line, so W sound is very prominent and W sound, W is consonant, means we can say that here W sound, which is consonant, are there in the starting of the words. So this is the example of alliteration. Now the next figure of speech is metaphor. Now what is the meaning of metaphor? So metaphor is an indirect comparison between two things without using like and as. Means we compare but without using like and as. So in stanza 1, line 2, see, beneath all uniforms a single body breathes. So here poet has written uniforms. Now uniforms according to this poem means clothes worn by different people of different countries or soldiers. So we can say that uniforms are getting compared by dresses worn by people or soldiers of different countries. Indirectly, he is comparing, means directly. Direct comparison is there without using like and as. So, this type of figure of speech is metaphor. Now, next figure of speech which has been used in this poem is repetition. Now, what is the meaning of repetition? So simple. Repetition means repetition is a literary device in which a word or phrase is repeated two or more than two times. So, see in stanza 1, line 3. Line 3 and line 4. Now, see line 3 is continuing to line 4, means we can say that this is one sentence. So, see, like ours, the land our brothers walk upon is earth like this in which we all shall lie. So, the word like and ours, the word like and ours is repeated, has been repeated for poetic effect. Now, the next figure of speech which has been used in this poem is what? Enjambment. Now, see another repetition example is there. One more example in stanza 2, line 1. Okay, see, they too aware of sun and air and water. Now, see in line 1, and word is getting repeated, and word. So, this is the example of repetition. Now, again see in line 3, stanza 2, their hands are ours and in their lines we read. So, see here, their, okay, their word is getting repeated. So, this is the example of repetition. Repetition means simple, a repeated use of words or phrase. Now, the next figure of speech which has been used is enjambment. Now, what is the meaning of enjambment? So, enjambment means when same sentence continue to two or more than two lines without punctuation is known as enjambment. Now, see here in line 1, stanza 1, line 1 is continuing to line 2, means you will see that by the end of line 1, no punctuation mark is there. Remember, no man are strange, no country is foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Again, line 2 is continuing to line 3, like ours the hand and brothers walk upon. Again, line 3 is continuing to line 4. Is the earth like this in which we all shall lie? So, line 1 is continuing to line 2 and 3 and 4, means in the last no punctuation mark is there. So remember, this type of figure of speech is known as enjambment. Again, see in stanza 2, line 3 is continuing to line 4. In the last no punctuation mark is there. By the end of line 3 in stanza 2. Their hands are ours and in their lines we read. No punctuation mark is there and this line is continuing to line 4. Again see in stanza 3. First line, second line, third line. First and second line is continuing to third line. So line 1 is continuing to line 2 and 3. No punctuation mark is there in the last. Again see stanza 4. Line 1 is continuing to line 2, 3. Okay, so this type of figure of speech is known as enjambment. In stanza 5 again enjambment has been used. Line 2 is continuing to line 3. Line 2 is continuing to line 3. So this type of figure of speech is known as enjambment. Now, my dear children, in this poem we saw the explanation of the poem and after that poetic devices which is used in this poem. So, first rhyme scheme. No rhyme scheme is used in this poem. Poem is written in free words and the figures of speech which is used is alliteration, metaphor, repetition and enjambment. Now, the very important thing, what message we got after reading this poem? So, the message poet wants to convey is the message of universal brotherhood. He explains that no men are foreign and no country is strange. We all are children of the same God. So, differentiation between people on the basis of their color, religion, nation, caste and creed is totally wrong. So, the poet wants us to rise above these narrow-minded things which we have for others and believe that the world is a family. So this was the explanation of the poem No Man Are Foreign. Thank you.